Well, that's good.
All right, Bob.
Hello. I'll get to my chores done while I'm getting set up here.
Is Ellen going to join us, Doug?
Now she's working on some fabric.
Good for her.
I like your background, Bob. The trees.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what we have for New England. I took that a couple years ago when I was there.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I miss it this year.
Yeah. Well, it's not as bright as it used to be, so a lot of people are hanging in there. Let's see, get rid of this one.
Hi, Don.
I,
Say hi to him too.
Okay. Gee, that should be about it. Clean up this.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello there.
Hi. Let's see.
So, Bob, is it hard getting everything set up out there in the woods?
Yeah, yeah, I have to get this fire to run a steam generator to generate the electricity for all my computer stuff. That's before I invented batteries, you know. Well, Nadine is not going to be joining us today, unless she does on the phone. I'm sorry, so I don't know. So I guess we can get started. I was guessing that, and maybe we will have that a higher participant count today because people are starved for talking to each other because we haven't done that much this week.
So true.
So I'm going to put the bug on you guys that you're going to have to participate in discussions today. So we do have a new puzzle today for you guys to figure out. It's a puzzle that most of the rest of residents who live here have dealt with for off and on quite a while. But now this is something for the new residents to get to know. And it's called the push puzzle. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about at all.
No.
But it's sort of like a secret handshake. If you want to get into the bistro, you got to deal with a push puzzle. And The bistro, you can't I mean, not the bistro, this is the post, get into the post today. No matter how you press this thing, it doesn't work. Now, you can go into other areas, like you're down behind the kitchen going down the ramp. There's another one of these things. You got to press it 3 or 4 times and say a few 4-letter words, and then the door might open. And that's the reward of solving the push puzzle. Now, we have a few other push puzzles around here, but some of them pretty simple. They don't require a lot of mental challenge. But this is a new senior challenge that we have to deal with. So we just have a lot of fun with it. Enjoy our challenges that Walnut gives us, right? And you have to tell everybody else this is not bad maintenance. This is a puzzle. This gets challenges our thinking capabilities and remembering how to do it.
Has
All
anyone
right.
turned in the report to that it needs to be fixed?
They've done that several times. It's been brought up before. If you hit it right in the middle, it will usually open.
Not last night, no.
Oh,
It was
No,
last night. I did 5 or 6 times.
It's totally dead right now.
It really
It's totally dead.
So
Yeah,
if you solve the puzzle,
Obviously, the mechanism is broken and it needs to be.
but if you solve the
Getting out
puzzle,
of the room is okay. It's not, you can't get into it.
but
without pushing the door open.
your reward if you solve the puzzle is an improved vocabulary.
Oh,
Now, I'm glad they didn't put this puzzle on the restrooms, because that would have been a little more difficult.
Yeah.
And then you would then you'd definitely be using 4-letter words.
yeah.
All righty. So that takes care of that. Okay. We had a lot of activities up through Monday until everything sort of got shut down this week. We had a nice Halloween last weekend. And if you haven't seen the Facebook, Judy's got all the photos up there, and plus a 10-minute video of her walking around showing all the little spooky things in there. And it's really nice. And that's the way of sharing it with your friends and family. So make sure you post that. Take the things you see on the Walnut Village Facebook and post it with your comments, so your friends and families who are linked to your account can see that. Do you understand what I'm talking about? That way it passes it on to folks outside the Walnut Village realm, to all the other people that you're friends with, which I usually do. And that's probably one of the good features of Facebook. I don't have to send notes and cards. I can just share all kinds of things going on here. And it's kind of fun to do. We also had quite a few move-ins this past week. We have Don and Judy Hennekins. I don't know how to pronounce that. Then Terry and Linda Priester. And then, of course, Kathy Stanek and Barbara Olson before that. So hopefully we didn't get a chance to, socialize with them this week, but we can probably, get started coming up this coming week. Things are supposed to open up on Monday. Cross our fingers that nothing else goes bad, and we can show that. I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID because, not COVID, norovirus. Norovirus is, it's one of those nasty things, and the cruise ships went through this thing about a couple of years ago, and I don't know if they're still doing it, having problems with it now, but here's a short video talking about it.
What are the symptoms? How is it transmitted? What are the steps to diagnosis, treatment, and remedies how to prevent norovirus? Noroviruses are a group of related viruses that are highly contagious that causes vomiting and diarrhea. People of all ages can get infected and sick with norovirus. You can get norovirus from an infected person, contaminated food or water, or by touching contaminated surfaces. Infection with these viruses affects the stomach and intestines and causes an illness called gastroenteritis, inflammation of the stomach and intestines. How do you know you have norovirus? The most common symptoms of norovirus are diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, stomach pain.
All those fun
Other
things.
symptoms include fever, headache, body aches. Norovirus causes inflammation of the stomach or intestines. This is called acute gastroenteritis. A person usually develops symptoms 12 to 48 hours after being exposed to norovirus. Most people with norovirus illness get better within 1 to 3 days. If you have norovirus illness, you can feel extremely ill and vomit or have diarrhea many times a day. This can lead to dehydration, especially in young children, older adults, and people with other illnesses. Children who are dehydrated may cry with few or no tears and be unusually sleepy or fussy. Do you know how they are transmitted? Norovirus can spread very easily. You can catch norovirus from close contact with someone with norovirus, touching surfaces or objects that have the virus on them, then touching your mouth, eating food that's been prepared or handled by someone with norovirus. But how is it diagnosed? Diagnostic methods for norovirus focus on detecting viral RNA, genetic material, or viral antigen. Diagnostic tests are available at all public health laboratories and many clinical laboratories, and most use reverse transcription real-time polymerase chain reaction, RT-qPCR, assays to detect norovirus.
We're going to quiz at this in a
Treatment and
minute.
remedies for norovirus includes washing your hands frequently with soap and water. Alcohol hand gels do not kill norovirus. If you have norovirus illness, you should drink plenty of liquids to replace fluid lost from vomiting and diarrhea. This will help prevent dehydration. If you want to know more about norovirus, comment and let us know.
So that's what it's all about.
Oh, doesn't sound good.
Well, hopefully it's behind us. Somebody said that there was people coming out of the COVID virus things, somehow they end up with norovirus. So I don't know why that's associated or if it's even true, but you have to be careful. There's all kinds of bugs out there.
Thank you, Bob.
Oh. And
Yeah.
it's you can go on the YouTube and find out all kinds of stuff on these things. So it's good information, and we need to keep up with it. So anybody have any final comments about Halloween? Or I guess that we all survived it, and all the crazy costumes. We had an awful lot of witches and witches hats, but that's good. Coming up this weekend, we have the end of daylight saving time, and you got to turn your clocks back an hour sometime Saturday night, so you don't have to get up and go to church or something at the wrong time. It's not going to breakfast because they're going to have to deliver it to you anyhow. So there's been a lot of debate, I guess, about states saying, I don't like this going back to regular time, and we should keep on daylight saving time year round. But we tried that, if you remember, sometime in the 1970s when we had an energy crisis, because they wanted to save money or energy. I guess that we had high oil prices at that time too. And everybody complained that it doesn't seem reasonable that you're still in bed and the sun hasn't come up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
So they said, screw it. We go back to daylight saving time. So that's what we are. And I don't know if we ever go back to that argument again, but that's a common thing that's going on. On Monday, we have Michelle's programming coming up with the library virtual tour, right? And she's got a box lunch prepared in the LLC, so you can watch Zoom together, or you can go home and Zoom.
Well, the latest is though that we're still in shutdown unless we receive something, since I've went off to my appointment this afternoon. So if on Monday morning, if Nadine says we're open, then we'll go about our business and do what we plan to do. Some people will be Zooming in on their computers, and most will be in the LLC. But if we're shut down, then everybody will be at their computer. And Ryan and I and Sandy will help people get on in case they should have any problem. And that's the way it will be.
Well, I thought I read that they were expecting to be back on schedule Monday.
Where did you read that? Because I haven't received anything like that.
That's what I'm trying to check right now.
Okay.
It was in the letter we got yesterday.
Okay.
You
well,
mean
that's-
if there were no other infections is
Right,
what you mean?
right.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
think
just-
that's the expectation, that the whole idea of having this quarantine, this sort of partial shutdown, is to protect everybody from getting any germs.
Right.
So as long as no one gets sick again, then we'll be able to carry on Monday as planned. But if we end up with the case, and we know it's not impossible, then we would have to be doing the program from our own computers.
Michelle, if that happens, are you going to send us an email, an invite, so we'll have the address?
I'm actually making it out right now. I'll send multiple copies of it out. And today I was going to send it out. I just haven't been, I've been busy. Let me put it like that. Very busy.
She's doing it.
Yeah, I just asked.
I also need to talk to each person to make sure that everything is the way that they've been able to register their library cards. There were 21 library cards that were retrieved from Los Angeles Public Library. So all in all, not everybody is coming to the presentation, but if we end up being shut up in our apartments, that might make everybody want to come. So we'll see. But that's the way it stands right now. I think that we hope it'll be open. And the orders for lunches have already been sent in. The deadline was actually yesterday.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, also on Monday, we have the Beach City Band coming on in the evening. I don't know, let me deviate from the subject a little bit. When we had Judy at our last resident council meeting, she made a plea to us. And, Judy really needs the help, because she does so much for us at getting these activities to come. And it must be totally frustrating when she gets all this stuff planned and we got a whole bunch of no-shows. So she was trying to figure out how she can have us behave a little more responsible to check the act. Well,
Excuse me,
don't
she's
laugh.
not
Come
our
on.
parent.
Don't
Good
laugh.
grief.
Everyone
That's outrageous.
has her-
If the program doesn't work, change the program. That's easy.
No, it's not that. It's people. Oh, I forgot. Oh, why didn't you tell me? It's all the kind of senior moments we're having here.
Your
So
senior moments.
Okay, so I'm suggesting the following practice. It works for me. When she comes out with a calendar, Let's see, we get the calendar. Here. I got the background. So, the weekly calendar, we got it today. And there it goes. And when you get the calendar, get out a highlighter, okay? And highlight the things that you're interested in. It's just the easy way of marking up the things that you want to be interested in. It's another simple method of saying, hey, I remember these are the kinds of things I like to do. And then once you highlight them, if you use a computer calendar, put them on your computer calendar, and then you get reminders. So Judy doesn't have to do the reminding, and their staff doesn't have to go out and put all these little pieces of paper on your doorstep. Yeah, Doug, go ahead.
Just an added note, I was talking with Judy yesterday or the day before, and she is losing both of her assistants in the next week or so.
Oh, no.
Lupe is going to another job in the village, and Lauren is leaving the office for other reasons. And Judy is going to be by herself in the office. And she had an interview, I think it was yesterday afternoon, but that didn't turn out successfully. And she's looking for somebody that knows how to do some things on the computer. They need to have Excel skills, and they have to know how to do some word processing skills. And so she is going to be very shorthanded and really run to death. So what you just mentioned, I think, has even more impact.
Yeah.
No.
That's a shame. One of the most impact services that impact our feeling good and happy with each other is doing all these activities. And just this week, you notice they all got shut down, and says, "Oh my gosh, this is just like COVID again." And it was a shame.
Well, we're very sorry that we get sick, Bob. We didn't want to get sick.
Well, somehow I hope people can step forward and help provide help to Judy in those areas. And I hate to over-obligate. I could do it myself, but I would over-obligate myself on other things. So I'll see what I can do in that area. She knows, so forth. Then we have COVID testing on Tuesday. And hopefully, if nothing changes, Corral on Wednesday. Go back to the normal schedule for some of the stuff. These are the ones that I have outlined. And come Thursday morning, we have the Veterans Day program. And I guess we're going to put on our Boy Scout uniforms and go out and salute the flag or something like that. And
Let me add that there's chimers on Tuesday.
then chimes on Tuesday, yeah. And I was happy to see on Friday, Joe Tater is back in the Red Chair Lounge at 7:00. I definitely highlighted that one and see how that goes. We got screwed out of one of our special happy hours on Wednesday this past week. We just couldn't go there because they had all that autumn, whatever it's supposed to be. I don't know what it was. Maybe ale or something like that. So we didn't get a chance to doc all that kind of stuff. So mark your calendars. Please try to overcome your senior moments by having tools to do that with. And I'm going to come up with another discussions on that a little further downstream. So one of the things I was thinking we could possibly do and help Judy with, she's tired of having to put flyers on everybody's doorstep. And it's a lot of labor. It probably takes 3 or 4 people an hour or two out of their day just to do that. And then they have to make up all these flyers too. So possibly, and maybe we can discuss this, we could have some signs not big signs on easels. Those are too extra work, but just signs maybe on a 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 14 piece of paper, printing out, hey, today's the day for this kind of activity, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be the routine activities, but the special ones that she has to go out and schedule and pay for and all that kind of stuff. So maybe if we're having concerts, if we're having special speakers and other kinds of things, she could have signs distributed in the high traffic areas, in the front, the welcome desk, and then maybe by the elevators and over by the gym and the Red Chair Lounge and Grove Host Desk and those kinds of places where people, of course, the bistro and Post. So when you're walking by, it says, "Oh, hey, yeah, I remember that. I got to put it in my mental calendar here, and do that." So she wouldn't have to put hundreds of papers out, just maybe a dozen signs. I don't know if that sounds like a reasonable thing to do, but if you think that's a good idea, why don't you talk to Judy about it? And she's not on the thing, but she'll be watching this come later. And trying to make, she's doing everything she can do for us. We got to try to see if we can do something for her. All righty. Anybody else got any exciting news today to talk about? All right, so you guys are all happy to be here, but you're not really talkative. So, okay. I'm going to tell you a story about a negative thing that happened. This is the third encounter that I know about. We have one of our residents being spoofed about email again when some outsider got a hold of a handful of emails of Walnut Village people and him, and they said, "Oh, I can have some fun with this, or maybe even do something really devious." And they write an email to people at Walnut Village imitating this person. And they said, "Well, why don't you go buy this or that, or send me tickets or a credit card or a charge card, whatever."
In this session.
And this has happened the three times already.
Working on my computer, making some changes.
And somebody has an open mic. So
I know they can.
let's see,
Yeah,
I can't.
I can see them, but they can't see me.
We hear you, though.
A Zoom session every Thursday.
Okay, that was Joe Willett. All righty, so if this happens, you have to be aware when people, you're getting an email from someone that you know in Walnut Village, but it sounds kind of strange. Like, "I want you to go out and buy me buy a birthday card for my niece," or something like that. And Matt Greenwich went through that process, and I can't remember, somebody else went through that. Well, now it's now happening to Terry Taylor. Barbara, you're muted. You're muted. I can't hear you.
I've had it wasn't just Walnut Village. I've had it from other people also.
Okay.
People in my contact list.
Well, part of the problem is you have to be sensitive to and not enable these people by giving them or having them get access to a letter that has all these addresses on it, email addresses on it, where it says, "Oh, this person knows all these people. I'm going to have fun with this." And so they grabbed all these addresses and they said, "These are guys I can play around with if I'm pretending to be the guy who sent this email." And they do that. And it may be innocent. It could be lead to other kinds of nasty things. We never know where it's going to go when a prankster wants to play games with us. They use a phony email, but they say, here's an email from Bob Critchfield, but it's not from Bob Critchfield. It's from Joe Schmoke. And he comes up with a crazy fake email domain, which you can get very easily if you know how to do it. And he creates my name as part of the email of that domain and sends out emails with my name on the top, but then the email address is really hidden. And then he sends them out to anyone else and can say, oh, I'm hurting today and I need $20 to do this. And can you send me a gift card or something like that? And he'll go out and start fishing around for that kind of stuff. And it's a shame because a lot of people fall for that. And here's what you can do. This is Terry's. And let me see if we get rid of this thing. This is what Terry's email looked like. It said Terry Taylor, but this is not
Hello?
Terry's address.
Yes, it is.
Hi. Oh, okay. Well, I got the wrong one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but anyhow, this is normally when you click on you right click on it, it'll show you the fake address, and then here it says, "How are you? Hope you're need quick assistance from you." And then you start fishing around for that. I'm sorry, Terry. I thought that was a fake one. I guess.
Can I speak here? Can I speak for a bit?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Reconstructing what happened, Yahoo notified me on the 29th of October that I was hacked from Nigeria. Somewhere since the 29th and 30 and the 31st, I was really hacked because the first hack didn't work. I was away. First, I knew a relative who was looking at me says, "How can you send me an email when you're looking at me?" That's when you all got the quote phishing email that says, "Need assistance." Those who responded to that, most of them were then sent an email saying, "Oh, I need a birthday card for my niece." Those responders were eliminated, deleted from my email account, so I didn't know they existed. The hacker went into my email account and diverted 90% of the incoming emails to the trash container, by setting filters. So it looked like I was getting some emails, but not all of them. I had to go back, look through the filters and everything else to reconstruct. I have since set up a brand new email account using a different server, gmail.com, where most of you are all located. I am now trying to switch over financial areas with, of course, finding, okay, who's the real Terry Taylor? You and Gmail, or this person over here who's hacked my account? And that is a fun situation to try to convince financial institutions about.
Right.
It is, it's snowing here in Anaheim because I feel I'm snowed under. Do not look at any email that comes from the J.K. Taylor at EDD, which was my email and still is, but don't trust it. Back to you, Bob.
Okay, thank you. Okay, apparently they actually got into Terry's email account. Sometimes you don't have, a hacker doesn't have to do that. They can just fake it. And when I send you an email, it comes to you and it looks like it's from that person. So if it sounds strange, don't reply. Call the person on the telephone and tell them what's going on. So if they have, something's crazy. Because they may not, the person themselves may not know that until some strange activity occurs. And you're the best people to tell them that. If you do detect a phony email, you can do this right-clicking thing, but I showed you the right-clicking, what it shows up like, and maybe it works different on a PC. And you can compare that account to the actual account that's in the registry or the contact list. If they two don't match, then you know you're looking at a phony email. And then please don't reply to that person, but contact the real person by phone or other methods. And maybe even print out the thing so he can see what's going on. The key thing there is try to use blind copies when you're sending an email out to many people so you can discourage this practice.
That doesn't work.
Well, it helps.
Works in sometimes, but not in this case, because a person is able to look at all those blind copies.
The key thing is you don't want to make it worse by sending all these copies associated with you. Okay, Judy, what you got?
It seems to me when we had the class from the woman from Front Porch, she also said you could hover over the address and you could look to see what the extension was, and that might give you a clue whether it was legitimate or not.
I think that's true for web, but not necessarily for email.
Okay.
But
now,
look, computers work differently, so I'm not sure. You might be right.
Now, my question is, I know I'm supposed to use a blind copy, but I don't know how it works. Do I send it to one person and everybody else is the blind?
No. Well,
send it to yourself.
I usually send it to myself, just so it has a place to go, and then use blind copies for all the multiple addresses. And then for people who are principals, like when I'm sending out my invite list here, I'll send it to Nadine, Judy, and Kim, because they're sort of protected anyhow with other things. Mm-hmm. So, and that way they can see what's going on. Mm-hmm. But blind copy to usually like the residents, other people you don't want to have proliferated around the system. And I don't know if it's a 5% solution or a 90% solution, but it helps to try to keep down proliferating all these emails out there. And people are going to jump on and make your life miserable. So just it's part of the way we have to live with today. So. Okay, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, it may not be something that you really care about, but when I was going through this internet survey, a lot of folks said, why are we still doing all kinds of business on paper? Why can't we use the email services that are provided for us? And most of the people have. Well, the answer is that's a false assumption. Because only, let's see what the numbers are. Out of 170 residents here, approximately, only 110 have emails. That's a 65% ratio. Wow. Now, of the 110, only about 50 or 60 read them more than once a week. Half the people have them, they don't use them. So if the dean were to tell us, hey, we have a neurovirus, we have to do this, that, and the other thing today, and she sent it out at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, right after the council meeting, most of us wouldn't have read it. Most of us wouldn't have paid any attention to it for a day or two, or maybe a week or so. And half of them, would still be walking around. Everything's hunky dory. So the staff is sort of resigned to saying, well, we have to use paper. And paper as a communications method was good. But even since the pandemic, we don't go down to the post every day anymore. I've talked to a lot of people, they only go down the post 3 or 4 days a week. And that's not a reliable way of getting things, which it used to be. And poor Judy said, if I get my message out and it's important, I have to put it at their doorstep. And if she puts it on the doorstep the night before, they'll still forget the day of the event. So she's frustrated. Users are frustrated seeing all this paper floating around. We're looking for what could be a good solution for putting out either general information or more specific, more importantly, notifications of a higher priority, sort of something like the neurovirus thing that came up this week. And has anybody got any great ideas on how to do this without having to knock on every door? We don't have the talent. We don't have the luxury of all that labor to go out and knock on everybody's door. We can't call them up on the telephone unless there's a broadcast telephone system, which I don't think we have.
No.
John, what you got?
I was wondering why we couldn't emphasize using channel 81 more. Everybody has a TV. If we become conditioned to using it as an information source, is there.
Well, we could probably be more conditioned as using emails too, even though not everybody has them, and then maybe help out the people who don't.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of training and learning. Yeah, Judy?
Not everyone has Channel 81. If you buy a package from our vendor.
That's
you
true.
don't
Yeah,
need
yeah. That's not 100% true. Yeah, that's right.
Let me add also, there's a real wonderful old-fashioned way of doing it, and that's called a telephone tree, where everybody only calls one or maybe 3 or 4 people, and it spreads out from the top down. But it's not real practical, I don't think. At least it would get into everybody's answering machine.
Yeah. One of the things I was thinking of, and we don't have 100% coverage either, is using the Alexa notification system.
Not everybody has it.
Oops, she just chimed in. Not everybody has Alexa, but they're pretty widespread, and they are available through the grants and everything else. So we could probably get a lot of coverage, and it might take an awful lot of training. But the nice part of it would be, they could, let's say at the front desk or wherever the nursing place or safety and security could have a program where they could make an announcement and transmit it to all of the participating Alexas. And when the Alexa received the message, the little ring light would turn red, yellow, green, whatever the colors they have. And then it says, Alexa, what's going on? And then you could, and it wouldn't interrupt you, but you could, Alexa, stop.
There you have it.
She wants
What's the problem with
she wants to
Alexa?
participate too. Barbara, what you got?
Well, I think everybody has a telephone. Not everybody has a computer, not everybody has Alexa. And it seems to me, if this is an issue for staff, that they could put in the, what do you call it, the phone bank. Somebody just said that, where the message goes out. Our church has it, so I know it must not be very expensive because they don't spend money.
Yeah, well, remember at resident council or town hall, whichever it was, Nadine was saying, give me budget items, because now is the budget process. So
Is there
this is the
such-
time. If
Is
it's a
there
good
such a
idea.
thing? Is there such a thing as a wireless broadcasting system? That's what we need.
It's called a radio.
Well, we need something that's a broadcasting system that's
But
exclusively for us.
that's what that phone bank is. The
Well-
message just goes out to everybody on the list and you get a computerized phone call.
For an
Yeah.
emergency, you want immediate
Well,
information.
Michelle, I agree for emergencies. I mean, Judy might jump on this as, oh, well, we could do our earthquake stuff this way too, but
Yeah.
we need different levels of notification. We need, like, tomorrow there's going to be a birthday party for such and such in the lounge. Please show up. That's not emergencies, but it's something that we should want to get out. Judy, what's your idea?
I was talking to Nadine about our thinking about relocating. And one of the things that we want to have when we get to our new location after an earthquake is to get messages from Nadine to our telephones that will tell us when we're going to be able to come back and what's the current state of affairs. And she says we already have a phone system that can do that. And so I'm thinking we don't have to put in for a capital budget item. I think we already have something. We'd have to have her think about how it could be used differently than what they're doing now.
Ah,
It would send the same message to every phone.
okay.
As long as
Well,
the phone's not turned off, as often people do, turn them off.
Well, wouldn't it go to the message? I
Yeah.
don't,
George, let me hear your comment.
The last building that we lived in was a substantial apartment building, and both of my previous places of work had a PA system. Have we ever considered a PA system?
well,
Well, the problem with the PA system, it's very intrusive, okay? It might work if you had to evacuate the building in 5 minutes, but
That's
it wouldn't
right, it
work
would.
for, it wouldn't work for notices of parties and events and that the Beach City Band's gonna be out there tonight. Come on out and join us.
Yeah.
So we need to have something
Why
that's,
not?
well, I don't think the residents would put up with that.
they could have put one in when they built the building and they clearly decided that that was too much like a hospital, I think.
Or a cruise ship.
Yeah, I think we need to have the high priority and the low priority type of capabilities. And it sounds like we want, from their comments, everyone's going for vocal type of stuff.
Yes.
As opposed to written or printed, I don't know, signs or what, I don't know, all kinds of other stuff. I could probably virtual reality, go plug it into our eyebrows or something. So, oh, well, I just want to get you guys thinking on the ideas because it's a very difficult thing and it's probably very expensive for us to operate this way. Doug?
Doctors' offices and other businesses have menu-driven things. If you call up and it says, if you want to speak in English, press 1. If you want to speak in Spanish, press 2. If we have that capability on a phone system and you called the welcome desk and it says, if you want the daily announcement, press 1. It would be available. It would be a recorded message. It could be changed daily. And that would just depend on whether this telephone system has that capability or not. And Nadine would probably be able to tell us that very quickly.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea because it's up to you to ask for that. And maybe you need a little nudge to say, hey, you haven't checked your messages. And maybe you could have an Alexa or some kind of a flashing thing to come up and tell you, check your messages, or do some discipline of try to check your messages before 9 o'clock. Check your messages before you leave the house or leave the building or something like that. And that might be with enough discipline and training and the capability to retrieve them, that might be a very good way of doing it, and not extremely costly, because by having a central system you could dial in and retrieve. It's sort of like a voice recording from the some of the private phones have all these messaging systems built in, and you can dial into which ones you want. And I don't know how our switchboard and all that other stuff would work, but maybe you have just a special number to go to that stuff and find out how to use it. It would be worthwhile looking into, and if we could get some action going before the budget cycle closes, we could probably get maybe some improvements made to our system, and get it in this coming budget. It's so many people are asking, well, why do we still have to hand out paper and this and that? It's a shame.
Terry has a comment.
Yeah.
If you have a short message for an emergency or dial in and get a canned response, great. If I have to sit and listen on the phone for 10 minutes worth of this happened, this happened, forget it.
That's just a matter of policy and how you're going to implement it. And that would not work. You have to have short messages. What we used to call them, I used to call them elevator messages. You have to hear the whole speech between floors 1 and 3.
Yeah. Okay.
So, okay. Well, I think we have some ideas. I hope if Nadine is listening, she can grab on some of these. Any other final comments?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Don. Don?
This problem cannot be indigenous to Walnut Village. Front Porch now has a whole ton of places that they oversee. How are we handling this on a corporate-wide basis?
Well, I would actually suggest that our Center for Innovation and Technical, whatever it is, take a look into this and put their thinking hats on. They always come up with solutions to problems that we don't have, and this is a problem we do need some technical help with. So I'd hope that maybe they could jump on this. So, all righty.
So I'm inspired. I'm inspired, Bob. What we need is a little video screen that hangs on our wall in the kitchen that has the day's calendar on it, and it just changes automatically. So you look at it when you walk by. You don't have to call anybody. Nobody calls you. It's just always there. It's an electronic display of some kind.
An electronic information robot.
There we go. Somebody makes one, I'm sure.
Well, why don't you guys check into it and make suggestions, see if we can come up with some more specifics. It's sort of, like Facebook is coming out with this they changed their whole name this week to the Meta Universe or something like this. And Mark Zuckerberg is trying to capitalize on a marketing term to help salvage Facebook because of all of their policies and mess ups how they handle information. They're going down the tubes in a spiral. So they're trying to salvage their company, trying to come up with better ideas to get the kids involved with what they call a meta, which is a term. The term was invented by gamers, where they can invent their own characters in their own worlds and live in their own worlds. And we don't want to live in we have a nice world to live in. We just need to figure out how to communicate with it. So I think Judy's got a great idea. That's the vision. That would be a good vision. You just make sure people have to come out and check what's on the refrigerator door once a day, at least, so we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
So.
Bob, if I may comment there.
Sure.
Judy's excellent idea is already in position at selected locations throughout Walnut Village. One by the Wellbeing Center, one by the elevator near the cafe. They have a big screen TV which has on it items. No other channel, no channel 81. What is needed is a closed circuit TV screen in each of the apartments and every place else that we can look at. If they make Judy even happier, you can use that to report problems if need be. You can have 2 circuits on it. But the primary circuit just can be notifications, whatever the front desk or Nadine wants to put on it. They're already putting it out to several locations. What it takes is money to put a small screen in each room. Over.
Well, the screen you're talking about is channel 81, Terry. Those are just TV screens looking at and broadcasting channel 81. So I don't know if channel 81 is adaptable and flexible enough to be used, but that would be a possible start. However, it's a vendor service that they buy, and apparently I think it's very highly proprietary and highly limited.
Excuse me, it does not need to be a private vendor. I have seen these systems in uses in small clubs and other areas. All it takes is a screen and money. They're easy to program.
I understand it doesn't have to be, the idea of buying the service takes a lot of the work off the hands of the people. So they all have to just plug in certain things and walk away from it. That's one reason why it's very limited. And I don't know that that service is the right one for this kind of capability, but that's another good idea. Try to figure out how that could be extended or expanded, and whether or not it has to be on a dedicated hardwired TV monitor, or it could be broadcast that users could pick up on their computers or something else. Another avenue I don't want to bring up too much, because I tried to provide this service using this Walnut News website or a blog site. People had to have a computer and log into the thing, and for a while after when COVID started, it got a lot of good use, and then it died off. And I sort of said, well, I don't have the 5 or 10 hours a week to put into this thing if no one's going to read it. So I just sort of dropped off, and it's sort of dying a slow death. That could be another alternative for computer users, but I don't want to force everybody to have to go and log on to a computer if they don't have the smarts or interests. So, oh well, let's wrap that part of it up. I want to talk a little bit about the thing we're covering last couple of weeks. Let's see, Joe is still there. Hey, Joe, wake up. Come on over here. The congestion in the ports. There's all kinds of new things happening with our congestion in the ports. This week, we had a lot of talk in the radio and TV about truck driver shortages. And that's why we can't get the trucks in to take these containers and deliver them off. And that's why there's all this congestion. Yet, when the truck drivers go to the ports to pick these things up, they have to wait 3 or 4 hours in line, or even more. And when they do, they miss their appointments and they have to come back the next day. So we're not using the truck drivers' hours effectively. And there's a big report in the Wall Street Journal this week about that. They only have so many hours that can work based upon the Department of Transportation's rules for you can't drive 24 hours a day. You only have, 11 and 14 hours availability. But if you sitting in these waiting lines half the day, then by the time you get a load, you're lucky to get out of the shipyard and off to deliver it. And then you says, well, my gosh, I have to stop because I can't drive anymore. And if your delivery is not within that same time frame, you're stuck. Then there's the other issue. California instituted AB5 last year, and that was aimed at independent contractors, saying they were not paying their fair share of taxes, and they did not want to be. And so the state wanted to make them employees of the company. Well, truck drivers, for the most part, are independent drivers, and they don't work for a company, they work for themselves. And they are barred from going to the shipyards to pick up trucks, these loads, which therefore is a shortage because we just can't use those guys anymore based upon the state rules. And this has started to come out and says, well, why is it, why can't we change that law? Well, it's a state law. And now because we have all these trucks, they can't move, and the loads that are stuck sitting around. We're now having a lot of burglaries, where burglaries are going into trains and trucks that are parked overnight and stealing the goods out of the containers. And they said the burglaries are up 50% or so, stealing all this kind of stuff because there's a new opportunity here. And then there was a report the other day on the news about how the California nut industry, which is several billion dollars of income for California, is having a hard time because they can't get trucks to pick up their cargo and deliver it and ship it out or export it or whatever. So they're gonna lose their crops this year, and the price of walnuts and almonds going to go through the roof, all because of we don't know how to manage the resources we have. So it goes back to that whole idea of compounding one problem and the folks looking for easy solutions.
That AB5 made a mess of everything.
Well, AB5 it was a bad rule. It was just, yeah.
It's going to kill the community theaters.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. So let's see. I want to talk about November is a time when a lot of the new theaters, you talk about theaters, Barbara, new theaters are coming out with their new programs. And I'm looking for something I can't find here now. What happened to it? Let's see, it's not there. Where would it be? Oh, here it
We
is.
just got a notice yesterday at the mail of a theater in Cerritos that have had some programming in the near future.
Yeah, the Cerritos calendar just came out, and they've got a lot of nice programs here. Here's a program that I have enjoyed over the years, and it's the Angel City Choir. And what the heck happened here? Oh, stop and get out of here. I go back. Angel City, where? Okay. The Angel City Choir is a chorale group of about 160 people. And my daughter introduced me to it and I fell in love with it. And they're now selling tickets for a concert that's going to be held at the UCLA Royce Hall on December 4th on a 3 p.m. Sunday or 7 p.m. Saturday. And this is the first time they've had a live concert in 2 years. They're going to have an orchestra, and these 2 days they're probably going to fill up real fast. So if you go to Angel City Chorale, just type it in the web and you'll be able to find all kinds of stuff. It's on the Facebook and everything else, and you'll be able to find out how to get tickets. My daughter got me tickets for joining her on that one, and I'm looking really forward to it. And I'll give you a report on it later. Judy, you're muted. You're muted, Judy. You're muted still.
A big screen came up in front of me. I got a notice today that they're going to have Messiah 2 performances sing along at the Nixon Library this year.
I haven't heard about that, but that'd be great.
Judy has taken us there for that previously.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There was no mention of whether you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, and then there's
they have scores that you can rent.
And for others who are interested in music, there's I just got this schedule for my daughter today about these events that are live streamed at UCLA. Here's a big band concert. This is Herb Alpert School of Music. And this is all about world jazz, different composers, and our religious music, wind ensembles. This is actually tomorrow. But the one I'm looking forward to is All-Star Evening features with Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, which will be next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday, and then a band concert, so forth. And if you're interested in this, just give me an email. I'll send you this link. I just got this, and it looked like really interesting kind of stuff for instrumental and vocal music and jazz, which is one of my fun things. Okay, we're running out of time. I wanted to show you some other stuff, but if you hang on, this is a nice time to have fun together. So, and you don't have to go to the happy hour tonight, so we can have it here. So we'll have let's try to do some where are they? Clips. Okay. So I had some contributions today, this week, from Ken and Jan. So let me share those with you. Here's something you don't want to watch. Find. You see speed limit and code rare by aircraft. That's a common sign, but you rarely see a helicopter waiting in the wings. Now here's one of the new kids who doesn't understand what a book is, and we don't want to raise our kids this way. Oh, come on. And here, you don't want to raise your dog this way. He has to use a GPS to find his little toy. No joystick, no mouse, no keyboards. How do you turn the pages? goes back to like the first one. Kids need to be aware of what's going on here. I don't care if your friend has a flight simulator, you're going to learn to fly on your own. See, now here's where the parents don't appreciate the new technology. That's the thing. So this is, and here's some folks trying to open a book for the first time they've seen it. And they're trying to, what is it? Evidence suggests she was working on a puzzle, got up to make tea. Husband enters and puts the last piece in. Now, Leroy, I guess we could have some other puzzle people, answer to that one to see whether or not that's real or not. So,
We had a resident here at one time that on the puzzle down in the library, this resident would take a few pieces home with her so that nobody could finish
it. No, that's not fair.
She's no longer here, but yes.
Well, I don't know. Shirley, does your husband do that?
Yeah.
Nope. But I solved that problem with Beverly.
Oh, did you?
Sure
You knew who I was talking about.
All right. Here's a dog who's saying he's trying to, agree that this little puppy can sleep here tonight for one night. And then, of course, it's no longer a puppy anymore. Here we go. Wife wanted 5 minutes alone. This was outside her door. And look at all the people who gathered, all the animals, including a little baby. So pee on the electric fence, they say. It'll be fun. I don't know what would happen if we did that, but let's see. Hold your wife's hand in the mall. If you let it go, she'll start shopping. It looks romantic, but it's economic. I hate when I see some old person, then I realize went to school with that together. The difference between a big sister and a big brother. Look who's taking care of each other. And here's, I don't know if this is apropos anymore. I learned how to pull my up when I was 2. No, we don't have Wi-Fi. We talk to each other. Maybe we should have that sign around here when the Wi-Fi doesn't work. I can say I'm entirely pleased with my hip replacement. And here, we need to move back in with our parents. Apparently, finances are not doing very well. And the phones are talking to each other. Right there, our ancestors had tails. Your child is being eaten by a camel. Do you, number one, save the child or take a photo? And this is another one along the lines. This poor guy is drowning and they even get the cameras out taking a photo. That's the answer to the first one. I thought this was good. My daughter wants a Cinderella themed party. So I invited all her friends to come over and made me clean my house. That's a good idea. Your father says he'll stop wearing his pants like that when you do. So there's a problem there. And let's see, I have, let's see, that's getting close to the end here. So I think maybe just cut it off here. For people who really love dogs, I'll show you this last one. And this one was on the, I think it was Facebook. I can't remember where it was now. But let me share it for you here. Where am I here? Gosh, losing track of the. All righty, so. The dog is recognizing this girl is having a panic attack. I had never heard of this before, but I guess it's real. I guess I train a lot of dogs to do many important things to help people.
Schön. 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 Und schön.
Maybe that's the kind of dog some of us need around here too. So it goes on and very similar stuff. They show that how the dog is really into how to take care of this lady. I can't train my cat to do this. It doesn't work. So, all righty. Well, let's leave it there tonight. Thank you for coming. We did have up to 18 people tonight. So I guess some of us were starved for company, so it worked out really well. And let's hope next week we'll all be back to our normals and doing our things and have a full week. I'm always interested in your participation and your contributions, because this is your forum, not just mine. I don't want to be the Big Bob Show. I want it to be a host of friends and family, and you guys are family now to all of us, and let's try to behave that way. Have a good week, and